It's beautiful. Medieval, silver. Again, it's treasure. Underneath the soil or hidden in the ground, there's a lot of treasures to be found. Dirty secrets of Scotland. Hello and welcome to Dirty Secrets of Scotland. I'm back in the field where the Roman brooch was found. I can just imagine the legionaries walking around in this very field all that time ago. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll find something else from that period. Just a little coin. Too far gone, really toasted. That would have been really cool if it had been a hammered on film like that when I was doing my artistic shot. I've dropped it. And found it again. It's a curious thing. That's got age to it anyway. I don't know what it is. It's an interesting piece. Yeah, not sure what that is. It's part of something. Artifact. Nice. It's just a piece of foil from someone's sandwich. Alright, I think that this is the top of an old padlock. Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's where it'd fasten in. That would be in the top. Hook over, park your bike, and off you go to the shops. Now 16 repeating. Both ways as well. Same number, unusual. Still 16. Okay, let's check it out. Aha. There's a coin of some type. Don't want to jinx this, folks, but I think this might be a hammered. My heart is thumping. I've only been in the field about 15 minutes. Right, in fact, you know what, I'm going to do the whole thing on camera. I'm pretty sure this is a silver hammered coin. Taking my headphones off. fairly sure this is a silver hammered. It doesn't seem to be one that I recognise. I think that's a Shortcross. I'll explain what that means in a minute, but that is an absolutely stonking find. I'm going to stop the video now and I'll give this a little bit more of a clean so I can see a little bit of detail on there, and then I'll come back. It's a Shortcross hammered penny. I think it might be Henry III Plantagenet. It's beautiful, medieval, silver. Again, it's treasure. It's absolutely stunning, totally buzzing. And you know what comes next? Well, I think you all know the protocol now when there's a treasure find, and that is a treasure find that will have to go to the museum. You know what's coming. Just get ready. Henry III was only 9 years old when he became the fourth Plantagenet king to sit on the throne of England. The French dynasty had held power of France and England for almost 60 years. King John, Henry's father, had lost most of his lands in France to the French king. Henry, although a pious king, was also keen to expand his empire. The Pope struck a deal with Henry for the rights to Sicily with a hefty price tag, and this was seen unfavourably by Henry's own barons. A group of these barons decided to stop Henry in his tracks. In April 1258, it all kicked off big style. 7 armoured barons confronted Henry in Westminster Hall. The king was forced to obey their demands. For the first time in England's history, the king would have to share his power with a council. These reforms are now known as the Provisions of Oxford. A new institution was born. From the French parler, to talk, came the new term, Parliament. Henry appealed to the Pope to overturn this new Parliament, but this upset his own brother-in-law, Simon de Montfort. At Lewes in Sussex, this resulted in battle, and Henry lost. Henry's son and future King Edward I was seized and held captive. For over a year, England was essentially ruled by Simon de Montfort, and under the new style of rule, this Parliament, Henry, although still officially king, was powerless. Then, in a bizarre twist of fate, Henry's son Edward escaped his captors. He raised an army and confronted de Montfort. The Battle of Evesham was a resounding win for Edward and the Plantagenet dynasty. De Montfort was killed in the battle, but Henry and all future monarchs had to work together with this new style of rule, Parliament. Check out our Instagram and our brand new Facebook page for Sarah's amazing story on hammered coins. Links to both are in the video description below. Okay, so I've just about calmed down now after finding that hammered coin. I think it is Henry III, by the way. Shortcross. I've got a piece of broccoli apart from that. Quite aged too, but I don't think it's really, really old. Could it be part of a gun or something? Unusual. 22, 23. In my experience, that's usually a Victorian penny or something like that size, a large coin. I've probably totally jinxed it and it'll be a piece of lead, but certainly sounds like a Victorian penny to me. Let's have a look. Oh, that's cool, it's in this clod. Gotta love a bit of a reveal. Ah, I see edge. You see that there? It's copper. It's not Victorian, it's older than that. It's probably George II or George I maybe. Yeah, it's toasted unfortunately, but yeah, that's a nice old coin. Oh, I don't know what this is. It's a piece of harmonica. I'm actually trying to get Sarah to play the harmonica at the minute. She seems to be taken to it though, because it's quite easy to play. She hasn't got the patience to play guitar, but harmonica on the other hand seems fine. Watch the space. Can't say conclusively what that is. It's bronze, very old, but I don't know what it is. It's our good friend. I think back in the 1700s the farmers were just sowing this in the fields instead of crops. The green patina, can you see that? You can see it if I point the camera at it. Oh, dropped it. Very smart. Oh. What's this then? I think it's been snapped by the plough fairly recently. Certainly interesting. It's almost like a... Initially I thought it was a hammer, type of hammer. But I don't think it is anymore, I think it's something else. It's like there's a little wheel in here that's spun. Can you see? I think that's spun in there. So maybe it's a pulley or something. It doesn't explain this part in the end, but yeah, it's certainly got a lot of age to it. It's an interesting find. What is this? And this is just a piece of molten bronze. And then they were probably pouring it, making something else. Maybe even Bronze Age, who knows? Well, there's our friend the wasp. He's come back to get me again. No again, mate. It's bad enough the last time. You were number 5, you were the worst. Go on, beat it. Well, listen to me as well, did beat it. I wish they always did that. Whoa! What's this? It's an absolutely enormous piece of lead. It's always best to check lead like this though, in case it's got writing on it or details. Yeah, I just think it's a plain piece of lead, but I will clean that up later. It's massive. This is quite an enthusiastic signal. Sounds like it's right on the top. Oh, hold on. There we are. It's like some sort of coin anyway. copper. I think that this is another farthing. I had a farthing in the field not long ago. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Victoria, Bunhead, farthing. Got another belting signal here. 28 to 30. Blowing my eardrums out. Right, I'm going to stop doing that because it's like torture. Oh, I think I actually see it. Yeah. I think it's copper again. It's thick though, and it'll be pure copper and not mixed down with anything, so that's why it's a bit more loud. But yeah, it's probably looks very George the First or Second. Copper coin worn down, blank I think. Anyway, let's crack on. Aha. Whenever I find square lead, I always wonder if it's a communion token. More often than not, it isn't. More often than not, it's just a piece of offcut. This, I think, is a piece of offcut. Yeah, that's not a token. I've just stopped to go and have a bit of lunch and have a break, and then magic is happening. So that's real magic, just to prove that this field is magic. When I turn, see, it doesn't move, so it's not the sun or anything. That's genuine magic. So yeah, I'm just going to go and take a break from the detecting, then come back and use this magic to find more stuff. Magic. Here it is, whatever it is. Looks like a button to me. Yes, just a wee button. It's all corroded, but yeah, that's what it is, wee button. 13 signal here. I think it's another button. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's another button. Oh, maybe not. Maybe lead actually. Yeah, I think it's lead. Maybe a tatty old trade weight, this one. 11 signal, it really sounds high up. It sounds like it's on the surface. Seems it was. It's got a shine to it anyway. Ah, I should have known. That size and that lower signal. It's everyone's favourite, the Tombac Button. You get these everywhere when you're detecting and they're really annoying. So many of them. Solid 19 signal, sounds like it's on the top. That might be it there. That is it there. I knew it was high up. Here we go. Is it a lock plate? No, I don't think it is. It's something though, from a window or something like that. 14, 15. And it's out. Let's have a look. Maybe part of a button or something. A little clean with a brush. Not sure what this is. It's very crude. It's very old as well. I can't say for sure what that is. See what I mean? It's quite thick and crude. I kind of hoped it would have some enamelling or something on there, but it doesn't. I haven't had a signal in a while. My arm was getting sore. I've got a 16 signal here. Gonna have to use my spade. I was supposed to bring it after all. $15.16. Nice signal. Oh, I see it. Ah, military button. You can see on the back it's gold plated. Sometimes they have an insignia on the front. This one doesn't. Had to just come back to the car and lose a layer. The shirt is gone. It's really warm. There's not much wind at all. So yeah, had to take off the shirt. Okay, this field's given me the silent treatment. It's time to move on to the next field. First signal in the next field. 20. That's a good signal. Oh, couldn't see where I was. I think that's just a button. Maybe? Maybe not. Maybe purposefully made that way. Yeah, because it's had a square nail through it. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that is. It's a coin this time, I think. It's an old coin, snapped into by the plough. Probably Georgian, I would say. 18 repeating. Oh, I see it. Don't even need the probe. Is it the key? I think that's Britannia, yeah. And yes, it is Queen Victoria bunhead. It's an earlier coin. Just jumped into the field after that one. So this is the third field now. And it's stubble, but it's nice and short, so I might give this a little bit of a bash as well and see what I can find. Time for some stubble surfing. Don't know if you can see that little spider. It's running about on my machine. It's hanging off now. Just going to let him go about his business because that's a money spider. In Scotland you reckon that these are lucky. Well, I do anyway. Lucky little spider. Just came out in the stubble field, walked about 4 steps. Banging signal. It's going to be harder to dig though because it's been very dry. Oh! I know instantly what this is. This is a medieval spindle whorl. And I think there's going to be a decorated one. In fact, I don't think it is. It is. Oh, that's a beautiful find. I love finding these. Excellent. Probably wouldn't be classed as treasure per se, but the museum will definitely want to record it. Let's give this a little clean with my field shower. I haven't had one of these for a while, so this is a good find. And get rid of the earth in the centre. Spindle whorls were used for weaving. I don't know if you can see there the dots and the lines. It's a pattern. Lovely little medieval spindle whorl. A little bit of social history there. Look at that. On top of the spade. There we are. Isn't that lovely? There we are. Lovely little medieval spindle whorl. Probably won't focus in this picture, but it is in the magic again. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, that's just proving that there is magic in this field. 100% real magic. Ooh. Ooh. Spindle whorls were used as weights to give momentum to drop spindles. Drop spindles were used to create yarn from various fibres, including wool. Spindle whorls were made from all sorts of materials, but medieval ones tended to be made from lead, like this example. It's really warm. My car's over there, quite far away, and that's where the water is. So what I think I'm going to do is go get my car and bring it back here and get a drink of water. I just got back to my car and I was speaking to a chap earlier called Gordon, who was interested in what I was doing. He's a nice guy, I've spoken to him before. And he said he was going to bring me a bag of beans. He did, he brought me a bag of beans. Thanks, Gordon, that's my dinner sorted. This is much easier than walking there in this heat. Gotta have a bit of aircon. I'm sure I put my metal detector around here somewhere. Where did I put it? Can't find it anywhere. Where is it? Oh, whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! There it is! Full-time roundup. Okay, let's start here. This item here. I don't actually know what this is. It's bizarre, but I'll clean it up a bit and have a look at it later. I found this whilst just walking through the field. It's a glass object. Not sure what that is. Just some bits and bobs here, screws, top for a padlock. This has got age to it, but I don't know what it is. It's all about the buttons and coins, and that's just a random piece of lead that'll go over there. This is quite cool. I don't know what it is. It's quite nice though. A couple of random bits. That's that solid piece. Don't know what that is. Detecting wouldn't be detecting without a huge bag full of lead. I want to check this for detail, but I have a feeling it's just from a building. And then let's not forget a bag of beans. And the top drawer finds today this lovely little spindle whorl, medieval, and this hammered silver coin, Henry III. Beautiful, which will end up in a museum. So yeah, that's the full-time roundup. Whoops, missed these ones. They were in my finds pouch, but there's nothing really to write home about. A couple of coins and buttons, not sure what that is, and that button with the sun type design on it. And that's all, folks. Thanks for joining me on Dirty Secrets of Scotland. Found more treasure. Yes, that'll be going to the museum. Happy days. And that spindle whorl's lovely as well, and there's a few other interesting pieces as well. But all in all, a good day's detecting. Really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. Until next time. Underneath the soil or hidden in the ground, there's a lot of treasures to be found. Dirty secrets of Scotland.